Hi guys, welcome to the Rule of Two, where the Star Wars news saga continues. I'm Terrence, and I am back to talk to you guys about Season 3, Episode 3 of The Mandalorian. Now, full disclosure, I actually already recorded this episode a little earlier in the day, but while I was editing, I had a whole major audio issue in the video, so instead of giving you a full detailed breakdown of the episode, I'm just going to give you my thoughts at this point because I can't go into all that detail again, so I'm going to give you my overall feelings about the episode itself. Now, this episode for the season so far probably was one of the best episodes and had some problems at the same time. One of the problems is that it did feel disjointed. There was two different stories that they were trying to tell in this episode. One of the stories took about 90% of the episode itself, and another story took 10% of the episode. You may be asking which one took 10%. All the stuff that had to do with the Mandalorian, that actually took 10% of the actual episode, and then the 90% was held by another ongoing subplot, which may or may not kind of play out in the whole Mandalorian universe, but it seemed to be more along the lines of like the universe post-Empire. But we'll get to that in a minute. So let's talk about the 10% that actually did involve the Mandalorian. So we kind of pick up where we left off from with Din Djarin and Bo-Katan still on Mandalore, coming out of the living waters. And it really kind of, or at least to me, it really kind of showed them connecting and kind of earning a kinship between the two, more along the lines of Din Djarin understanding what Mandalore used to be like since he wasn't there before the Purge, and then also too Bo-Katan understanding what it is, how to really be a person or a child of the Watch, and them finding a common ground and understanding they are still kind of kin. Now, they leave there, they try to go back to Bo-Katan's home, and unfortunately, even though the Empire has fallen, they don't forget who they don't like. So just like Mandalore, Bo-Katan's house actually gets bombed by TIE bombers, which is really, really cool to see because we don't get to see too many of the Empire ships in actual battle because there was a full fight scene between her and the Interceptors and Din Djarin and his little skiff thing. I forget what it's called. It's some Naboo starfighter. I think that's what it's called. Put it in the comments below if you guys remember. But it was actually cool to kind of see them take on the Interceptors and the bombers and have to come up against a full armada. Some would say this was kind of like a battle in the stars. Some may even call that a Star Wars, which is weird because we don't really get too much of that in these Star Wars properties. So it's really fun to actually kind of see more battles like that. Now, unfortunately, because that armada came on, they had to go ahead and take off, which Din Djarin takes her back to where the rest of the Children of the Watch are actually at, and Bo-Katan and him walk in, and they have to prove that he actually bathed, and upon proving that he actually did redeem himself, they also acknowledge that Bo-Katan is actually also redeemed because she had to rescue him, and which means that she bathed in the living waters, and since she hadn't removed her helmet, she is now redeemed. So for a person, and which made it really interesting to me, for a person that Bo-Katan is, where her own clan and people left her by herself because she didn't have the Darksaber and she couldn't take her rightful place as ruler of Mandalore, this small subsect, which they actually considered to be radicals, were very open arms to welcome her as part of their family, being that part of the their family of Mandalorians. So it's really cool, and it seems like they may be doing more things with her, and maybe she may be taking a back role as opposed to like I have to be the leader of Mandalore to maybe something else, and maybe just kind of rebuilding Mandalore under a new way of thinking. Well, we'll see how it plays out. I'm trying to do too much thoughts. So now that covered 10%. I'm really interested where they go with that. But what took up 90% of this episode was a like I said, a subplot that had to do with what happens to the Empire or the people involved, the people involved with the Empire, if they wanted to continue on after the Empire has fallen. It kind of makes you think, in a sense, that when there are wars fought between countries that happen to be neighboring countries, what happens to those peoples when they have to reintegrate between the people again? How do they readjust? And this episode actually gave us a good look at that. One of the things I also liked about Andor is because it gave us a really good look at what it was like to be the Empire, because we always got to see what it was like to be part of the rebellion, but we never understood the motivations of the Empire. And in this particular one, even though that they were we follow the scientist who had Grogu, who was going to test and extract things from him for the Emperor later on. We follow him being reintegrated into the New Republic. Now he meets other people who also were a part of the Empire that also were going through the reintegration process, and they kind of all tell their stories about what they miss and how they it had its goods and bads, which is a weird thing about like a government that kind of represents fascism. It had its goods and bads. But with that being said, he goes along this journey of not feeling wanted or needed and having a greater purpose, in which lo and behold he gets led to go on this journey, which he was betrayed at the end. I'm not gonna go in full detail because, like I said, I actually went over this. I want to give my thoughts on that. So my thoughts on that is that even though it seems that they've gotten rid of a character that they brought back just for no reason, they introduced us to a new character that seems to be kind of like a mole for the Empire. And I thought that was really, really interesting, because I don't know if the role of that particular person is influencing the New Republic, because there was things that were being said by like, hey, the Empire indoctrinated you. We're going to go ahead and remove that indoctrination. And the way that they were doing it was using something that the Empire used to indoctrinate people, which it seemed kind of, it didn't seem right, but it seemed like, hey, we're going to do exactly what they're doing, but because we're doing it, we feel like we're right for doing it. Now, I wonder once again if our new character has actually been kind of seeding the ground to get them to meet, maybe kind of full circle, go back to the Empire, because in the prequel films, it was really thought of as that they were making shadowy moves and things behind the scenes to kind of bring on the Empire when the Republic was free to begin with. It seems like they may be doing that again. So even though we know where the trilogy kind of ends up, it is very interesting to see how they got to that point. Now, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. I kind of want to know what your thoughts of the episode in general and what you guys kind of took away from it. I thought it was a really, really good episode, even though it did feel disjointed. I kind of wish both of these episodes were separate, but if you did all the Din Djarin things by itself and then did all of the New Republic things by itself, that one part of the episode, that episode itself would feel like it didn't belong in The Mandalorian. It would feel like it was like an Andor episode or a TV show by itself. Though hopefully it does pay off in the future and kind of see where we're going with it, and that it wasn't just something to just be talked about to seed other TV shows going forward, like The Acolyte or the New Republic or any of the 15 other shows that they announced. Now, this is the first time that you're on the channel, make sure you subscribe as well as click the notification button so that way you're aware of all the other videos that we do on the channel, as well as more Star Wars stuff. And if you want to go ahead and help the channel out, make sure you go to our merch store. We got plenty of t-shirts like this one, or you could just give us money and go to Patreon. That'll always help us. So, with that being said, may the Force be with you. Always. Wait, guys, are you still here? I'm glad you're still here. All right, so if you look down, I mean, it's somewhere over here. Look down. We actually have a Patreon. So if you guys watch the show and you really like what we want to do and you want to help support the show and you want to help me get an editor so I can get to sleep at night because I'm really tired and you guys see all my mistakes in the episodes. So please go to patreon.com/thegoods. Give us a penny, give us a nickel, give us $1.
Just don't give us the finger.
Don't do that. But make sure you do donate something because we do have some giveaways. There's posters, there's t-shirts.
I'll sign something for you.
Exactly. So take a look, guys, and help us out. We appreciate it.